Hi everybody, this is a Jeskai control deck that's kind of based around Skrelv's Hive over here, the new kind of Bitter Blossom copy that we got in Phyrexia All Will Be One. So what it does is it takes all of these creature tokens that these colors create, and then we get to exploit them to draw cards, make them bigger with Wedding Announcement, and then hopefully attack for the win before Skrelv's Hive does too much damage to us. So let's go through it a little bit. Now, Skrelv's Hive gives us a 1/1 Might creature with Toxic, it can't block, and it takes 1 life to do so. So this is going to happen every turn. If our opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures we control all get Toxic and lifelink. So if we can get the opponent to a certain point, we kind of get a little return on our life investment there. So the rest of the deck, unlike some Toxic decks, it doesn't really care too much about proliferating or making other creatures with Toxic. It's just a little value engine for us that just happens to have these little bonuses. So to take advantage of this, we've got Voltage Surge. The mites that it creates are artifact creatures, so we can sacrifice one of those to get some extra damage on that. We've got Make Disappear. If we've got extra creatures hanging around, we can make an additional copy of this spell. And then we've got some utility over here, Destroy Evil. It's very important right now to be able to destroy not just creatures, but also artifacts and enchantments. So this kind of helps us out, gives us a little flexibility there. In the same vein, we've got Soul Partition, which is kind of a catch-all spell. Over in the 3-drops, Loran of the Third Path is great. It destroys artifacts and enchantments, can give us some card draw if we wanted to, and has Vigilance, kind of avoids opponents' Wanderers and that kind of thing. Kind of fun as a one-of in here. And then, of course, these 3-mana enchantments, Wedding Announcement and Fable of the Mirror Breaker, by now classic standard inclusions that also care about creating creature tokens and then give us a nice bonus afterwards. Over here, we've got Overcharged Amalgam, which also lets us exploit extra creature tokens that we've got lying around to go ahead and counter opponent's spells and leave behind a 3/3 flying body. And finally, our deck tops out at 4-mana Planeswalkers. So we've got a couple of copies of Saheeli, Filigree Master, lets us do some extra scrying and drawing if we've got artifacts, and also creates creature tokens. I can see by now you're sensing a theme here. The ultimate, it doesn't help us too much unless we're really leaning on creating all these Thopters, but Saheeli's kind of nice at 2 copies in here. And of course, we can't be playing in these colors without using the Wandering Emperor to exile creatures, create yet more creature tokens, and support the creatures we've already got on the board. You'll see the usual smattering of dual lands on the right-hand side, although be warned, this deck does run a higher than usual amount of pain lands, so we're really going to be wanting Skrelv's Hive to kind of tick over into life gain mode if we draw too many of these in our opening hand. But anyway, these games are kind of fun. We get to do a lot of synergistic type of things, and it's always interesting to play kind of a more mid-rangey control-ish deck that actually tops out at only 4 mana cards. So let's get over and see a few of these games on the ranked standard ladder. I'll be with you for some commentary, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, let's take a look at this now. We've got a couple of lands. I think we can make this work. Only lacking in the blue lands department, but we've got enough interaction for the first few turns. I think we can pull this one out. All right, opponent going to start off with a Champion of the Perished, so let's go ahead and Voltage Surge that while we've got the chance, before that grows too large to deal with. We get Amalgam number 2. Let's play our Sokenzan. Really going to need a land to start enabling all the shenanigans of our deck. Probably going to play a Toxic Abomination, which dings them for 2. We find Deserted Beach. Let's go ahead and get our Fable going. Goblin Shaman on the board. Pass it back to the opponent. All right, opponent's going to go land number 3 into Call from the Grave. Gets the champion back and immediately replays it, putting an additional counter on the Abomination. Well, we're just going to take that damage. This Shaman's going to help out with some of our mana issues. We can discard 1 Amalgam, and I don't think Loran's going to have many targets in our opponent's deck. Haven't seen any blue, so they're likely not playing Necro Duality. Let's get in with our Shaman. That will allow us to do 2 things this turn. So now we can do Wedding Announcement, and we'll have enough left over for 2 mana for Skrelv's Hive. Great, so we'll make a human now, and we'll make a Might on our upkeep. Opponent's going to Fell Stinger. That will put a counter on the champion. Are they going to exploit anybody? No, they do not. And they're going to try to get in with their creatures. All right. Opponent gets in for 6. No blocks from us. Skrelv's Hive going to take us down to 8 as our Fable flips over. All right. Well, if we can survive, we might be able to get ourselves into a spot where we can start copying Amalgam and sort of lock our opponent out of playing anything else. We will have to get some life gain going. Definitely got to counter the Shieldred. That's not going to make our life easier. We'll sacrifice a human to the exploit ability, and the Amalgam will counter that. Skrelv's Hive going off once again, bringing us to 7 as we pick up the Wandering Emperor. Let's just pass it here. Just wanted one more turn for our wedding announcement to flip. And then we can start getting in with all of our tokens and flyers. Opponent's going to try to Tainted Adversary. Let's copy the Amalgam. Let's exploit the human. And then that will counter the Tainted Adversary. All right, and we will... All right, well, we'll have to deal with Shieldred again. Opponent's going to crawl from the cellar on Shieldred, putting a counter on the champion. Amalgam goes away. Suppose we could have sacrificed the Amalgam to itself to counter that spell. Probably would have been better. We got our Wanderer down. We're going to get a free Samurai from that. Untap here. Let's just send in a couple of mites and this Amalgam, start getting some damage in. We can send in the Samurai as well. Not many good blocks on the Samurai in particular. See what they do here. They are going to block both. Was wondering if they would expect a combat trick or something. We might be able to start getting some poison counters on them so that we don't die to our own Hive. Okay, so 2 mites down. They do block one of the Samurai, though, so we get to trade with the Fell Stinger. Bring them down to 12. Let's see. Yeah, we need 3 counters on the opponent for Skrelv's Hive to give our stuff lifelink. Opponent finds another Fell Stinger. That's going to do counter on the champion. They're going to exploit this time. Thinking about it, they do not. Okay. All right, I'll just go back to our turn. Skrelv's Hive takes us to 5. We will play a land. All right, let's do Wandering Emperor. Put a counter on this Amalgam. We will play Saheeli. Saheeli can make us a pair of Thopters. They're going to be 2/2 thanks to the wedding announcement. And let's copy the Amalgam. Don't need to exploit anything. We're just looking for flying damage. And then let's get in with everything. So I think between the Flyers doing their chunk in the air, I don't think they've got enough to block on the ground. Yep, and they just let it all through. Well, math is for blockers, as they say. Good game. All right, looking at this one, we've got 2 Skrelv's Hive. No red. We draw Hive number 3. This is either going to be very good or very bad for us. Opponent with a Storm Chaser Drake. So this could be some kind of Rot Priest situation over there. Let's get our Skrelv's Hive down. Opponent plays an island, having a good think. They're going to get in with the Storm Chaser Drake, bring us down to 18. Skrelv's Hive will happen on our upkeep, so we will take 1, go to 17, and get a little Might token. Let's see. Let's get our Seachrome Coast down, and then Skrelv's Hive number 2. Opponent having a good think here. Probably sitting on a lot of instant speed, interaction, ways to protect the Drake. We are still lacking the red mana to try and shoot that from the sky with our Voltage Surge. Opponent will get in with the Drake. And just pass it on back. Skrelv's Hive dings us for 2 during the upkeep, and we get 2 free mites. Let's go to attacks. We'll try to send 1 mite in, start working on those 3 poison counters that the Hive requires to give all of our stuff lifelink. Opponent with a shore up, so that's going to target the Drake, draw them a card. We will try to Voltage Surge right now. Don't need to sacrifice. They have the follow-up shore up. That's going to draw them another card. Fortunately, it untaps the Drake, so they can have the option of blocking the mite if they want to. Yep, and they do. Not respecting any kind of interaction from our side of the board, and rightly so. We're going to get down Skrelv's Hive, number 3. I mean, we are all in it now. We are on the Skrelv plan. Opponent attacks with the Drake. Brings us to 10, no other plays. We get 3 Skrelv's Hive activations. Brings us to 7. Pick up a Saheeli. And play out our Deserted Beach. Let's go to attacks and see what they've got for these 2 mites we're going to send over. Opponent's going to march. Well, let's use this opportunity and try to exile that Drake while they're tapped out. All right, Drake is down. Most of our stuff phased out, but that's okay. So we're going to... All right, they've got an Ivy Gleeful Spell Thief. We're going to be able to untap next turn and probably get in for enough poison counters to switch over to lifelink mode. All right, an opponent scoops it up. Good game. All right, this looks pretty good. We've got all of our lands. We got a couple of wedding announcements, a Make Disappear, and then follow that all up on turn 4 with Wandering Emperor. Opponent goes Xander's Lounge into Sulphurous Springs. So this could be the very common Grixis deck with Corpse Appraiser. Could be something else. All right, they'll try for a Fable, but we will use Make Disappear on that. It is too good. We'll use Deserted Beach. Get down our wedding announcement. Make a little 1/1 human. Opponent plays out Otawara from the hand. There's the Corpse Appraiser. Nothing for him to appraise at this point in time. So we could hold up the Emperor here, but I think we just need to go wide, start making some more tokens, and flipping over these announcements. That way, even our humans can start tangling with the 3/3s that this deck plays a lot of copies of. Opponent cycles away Xander's Lounge in their main phase. And they've got nothing else after that. All right. Let's get down our Adarkar Wastes. Thing just passing here. So our first announcement's going to flip. We're up to 5 tokens. We've got a Sokenzan that we can sort of flash in at the end of our opponent's turn. Or we could go Wandering Emperor on this Appraiser. Well, let's try for a double block here. I will trade 1 token for that creature. Sure. Opponent with a Brotherhood's End. Well, not much we can do about that. There goes our token board. Well, we can use Sokenzan, make a couple of tokens, and thanks to our flipped wedding announcement, those are going to be 2/2s. Nothing else from the opponent. We pick up a second copy of the Wandering Emperor. Let's go ahead and get in with these 2 tokens. Try to attack here for 4 damage. They've got Go for the Throat for one of them. So the remaining one gets in for 2. Well, since we attacked with so many creatures, we are going to draw a card off of that instead of producing a token as our final announcement flips over. Oof. Opponent with an Invoke Despair, so we lose our only remaining creature, one of our wedding announcements. Opponent will ding us for 2 and draw a card. Well, let's take this opportunity, flash in the Wandering Emperor, make a little samurai. It's a 3/3. We pick up an Amalgam. Good. We are definitely going to need to be able to counter something if we're going to try to eke out a victory in this one. Let's get in for 3 with our samurai. Let's make another one. Pass it on back to the opponent. We can keep up Amalgam here. Black Sun's Twilight. Let's just counter that. It's big enough where they can reanimate something. So I'm going to say no to that. And now we have a 4/4 flyer. Not bad. We get Soul Partition. That's pretty good too. Let's go for Fable though. Give us a token and some hand filtering, and then we'll put a counter on the Amalgam. Go to attacks and try to get in there for 8 damage. Alright, we've got our opponent down to 6. Interaction for this turn, we've got Voltage Surge and Soul Partition, and opponent just scoops it up. Good game. Well, this is kind of an interesting hand. Hope you like token production, because that's what we're doing here. Alright, I guess Seachrome Coast to start us off. We pick up a Make Disappear. Let's get land number 2 down. Immediately go for the Hive. Thought about keeping up the Make Disappear there, but not sure there's anything too threatening they can do on 3. Let's see. Let's get Wedding Announcement going. Kind of 50-50 there between holding up Make Disappear and getting the announcement down, but I think this will put us in a better position. I was worried they would play a Shieldred there that we couldn't quite deal with. All right, so we've got a Might and a Human to attack with. 4 mana. Let's go and attack with these 2 tokens. Gets us on the board with a poison counter, so we'll follow up with Skrelv's Hive number 2. Hold up Make Disappear for the following turn. Opponent with all the white mana. They're going to go looking for some more with this ambitious farmhand. Picks up a Plains and then passes it back. So we pick up 2 more Might tokens and draw a Fable. Well, might as well attack. Opponent blocks 1 of the Mights. He's going to go to 2 poison counters and get them down to 16. We could hold up Amalgam here, or we could do one of our 3 mana enchantments and then keep Make Disappear up. Since we have so many tokens, we can pretty much sacrifice any of these things to counter something a little smaller if we need the extra distance on Make Disappear. All right, opponent's going to try for Vanquish the Horde. We should be able to Make Disappear this if we casualty it. Let's get rid of the human. They got 3 mana, but they need 4 to deal with all this. And we will counter the Vanquish the Horde, yes. Oh, okay. All right. Tokens and counters, that's all you need. Good game.